Hey guys, I'm T and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, we make trendy and fun crochet tutorials twice a week, and if you haven't already, smash that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to join in on the fun. Today's tutorial is a quick and easy one. We're stepping up our crochet accessory game and making a beautiful pair of Basketweave leg warmers. Speaking of, by now you know the drill, but in case you're new, the best modern crochet tutorials and patterns are here, with even more dropping twice weekly, so consider clicking the bell to subscribe and you'll never miss an upload. Also, do me a huge favor and give this video a big thumbs up if you like it, or 2 thumbs down if you don't. Either way, it's a great way to show support so I can keep putting out free tutorials every Wednesday and Sunday. Now, it's time to get on the show, so without further ado. For this project, any category 4 yarn will work, but I used a total of 284 grams of yarn. That's 520 yards if you're stateside. As for tools, a 6mm hook, scissors, stitch markers, and a tape measure. There is a written pattern down below. Use offer code TCDDIY for a discount off any $9.99 plus order, and enter this week's pattern giveaway by telling us what you prefer for a quick meal, a sandwich or a salad. It really depends because I really love both, but you can never go wrong with a sandwich. Details for the giveaway down below. We're using 4 stitches for this project, and they'll be as follows. Chain, slip stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. This tutorial is made for size small. You can adjust it for your size, and we explain how to in the video, so let's get started. Getting these leg warmers started, we're all going to grab our category 4 yarn and make a slip knot. Then we're all going to grab our 6mm hook and start off by making a chain that is in multiples of 6, the length that we'd like for the leg warmers to be. Now keeping in mind that we will have a top and bottom band as well. I'd like for mine to be just about 16 inches or 40 centimeters. So I'm going to start by making a chain of 54, and actually I already have this portion completed, so I'm just going to be doing a small sample size with you. Now that we have our chain, we're all going to do one additional chain. That's going to be the same for everyone. Now once we have that additional chain that will count as the base chain, we're going to block off that last chain and start with a chain 2. Now that chain 2 is our turning chain. Now we're going to be putting 1/2 double crochet into every chain. So starting with a yarn over, into that chain that we blocked off, or the 3rd chain from our hook, we're going to insert with a 1/2 double crochet. So insert, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. Again, yarn over, into that next chain, pull through 3, and from here continue with 1/2 double crochet into every chain. We are back and our row 1 is complete. Now we're all going to get started on our row 2, so we're going to chain 2 and flip. Now to do our basket weave stitch, we're going to alternate between 3 front post and 3 back post double crochets. So starting with the yarn over, we're all going to find the 2nd half double crochet from our previous row. We want to make sure that we're not working into that edge stitch because we want the edges to be nice and clean. So finding that 2nd half double, bring your hook down, underneath the body of that stitch, through the other side, pull through 2, pull through 2. They are going to be worked in sets of 3, so to do the second one, we're going to yarn over, underneath the body of that following 1/2 double crochet, through the other side, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then again, yarn over, underneath the body of that following stitch, through the other side, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now those are our 3 front post double crochets. Now we're going to do 3 back posts. So what we're going to do from here is yarn over, bring our hook down underneath our work, and then over the body of that following 1/2 double crochet, and through the other side. Then yarn over, pull through, then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is our back post. Let's do another back post, yarn over, bring our hook underneath our work, in through that next gap, over that next 1/2 double crochet, through the other side, and pull through. From here, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and like I said, they're worked in sets of 3, so one more back post double, so yarn over, bring our hook down, in through that next gap, over the body of that next stitch, through the other side, and pull through. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's it. From here, we're going to continue to do 3 front posts, 3 back post double crochets, making our way all the way down. So let's just do the next set of stitches together a little bit quicker. Starting with a yarn over, preparing for our next front post double crochet. Underneath the body of that next half double, we're going to bring our hook down through with our first front post double, underneath that next stitch with another front post double, then underneath that next with another front post double. Now those are our 3 front post doubles. Now to do our back post, yarn over, underneath the body of that next stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we're going to do that 2 more times. So there is my second, and then my third. Now we're just going to continue doing this, making our way all the way down until we don't have any more stitches left to work into. When we don't, I'll meet everyone back so we can close off the row. And as you guys can see, I'm actually already at the end of my row 2. So now we're just going to close off the row by putting 1/2 double crochet into the top of that chain 2 from our previous row. So yarn over, pull through 3, and now our row 2 is complete. Now to get started on our row 3, we're going to chain 2 and flip. Now we're getting started on our row 3. When we're doing our odd number row for this portion of our basket weave detail, it is just going to extend our previous row stitches. After we flipped, it looks like 3 front post doubles, so I will be doing 3 front post doubles. But if yours looks like 3 back post doubles, you'll be doing 3 back post. So just to do my first set of stitches together, we're going to yarn over. Underneath the first post stitch from our previous row, we're never going to be working into that edge stitch because we want our edges nice and clean. We're going to bring our hook down underneath that first post stitch with my first front post double, with my second front post double, then with my third front post double. Once that first set of stitches is completed, my next set looks like 3 back posts, so I will now be doing 3 back posts. But if yours looks like 3 front posts, you'll be doing 3 front posts. From here, we're just going to continue to extend our previous row stitches till we reach the end of the row. Then make sure we close off the row with a 1/2 double into the top of the chain 2 from our previous row. We are back. Our first 3 rows are completed. Now we're going to get started on our row 4, so chain 2 and flip. Now for this portion, for every even number row, we're now going to do the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like. So as an example, my first set of stitches here looks like 3 front posts. So for my row 4, I'm going to be doing 3 back posts. But if yours look like 3 back posts, you'll be doing 3 front posts. So just to get mine done, yarn over. Underneath the body of that first post stitch, remember we're not working into the edge stitch, with my first back post double, into my next stitch with my second back post double, and next with my next back post double. Now that that's completed, my next set of stitches looks like 3 back posts, so I will now be doing 3 front posts. But if yours look like front posts, you will now be doing 3 back posts. Now that that's completed, we're going to continue to do the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like to reach the end of the row. Then, just like our previous rows, 1/2 double into the top of that chain 2 from our previous row. Our row 4 is now complete. Now we're going to get started on our row 5. What we're going to do from here is chain 2 and flip. Now getting started on our row 5, since it is an odd number row, we do want to make sure that we are extending our previous row stitches. So since we have flipped our work, my first set of stitches looks like 3 back posts, so I will now be doing 3 back post double crochets. If yours looks like 3 front posts, you will be doing 3 front posts. Now for my next set of stitches, it looks like 3 front posts, so I will now be doing 3 front posts. But if yours look like 3 back posts, you'll be doing 3 back. Now from here, continue to extend our previous row stitches to reach the end of the row. And we do want to make sure that we always close off the row with a 1/2 double crochet because we want the edges to be nice and straight. We never want to end on a post stitch. So we are back. We have just completed rows 1 through 5. From here, it is going to be a repeat of rows 2 through 5. All of those links will be linked in the description if y'all need them, by the way, until we have a portion that can stretch, because it does have a decent amount of stretch to it, around the widest part of our calf. Then I will meet everyone back right after a repeat of row 5. So we are back. I have just completed the width of my panel. Now I have a total of 25 rows. This width is just about 10.5 inches or 26 centimeters. Now from here, we're going to seam up the bottom portion all the way up until we reach the thickest part of our calf. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to try this on, making sure that the bottom is going to be where the hook end is, stays at our ankle. And from here, we're just going to pinch all the way up our calf until it gets kind of tight where we would need for it to start to expand again. Now we do need to make sure that the amount of stitches that we're leaving from our stitch marker up to the top, remembering the top is the opposite from where our hook is in multiples of 6. Now I have inserted my stitch marker into the 36th stitch from the top. That's just about 10 inches or 25 centimeters. Now from here, we're going to insert our hook into the corner stitch of both the front and the back panel and single crochet all the way up until we reach our stitch marker. So we're going to pull our working yarn through and do a chain up of 1 to secure. Then start by finding that first stitch into the front panel, insert your hook, first stitch into the back, insert your hook, and single crochet around everything. Again, first stitch into the front, first stitch into the back, and single crochet around everything, and we're just going to continue doing this, making our way all the way up until we reach our stitch marker. Once we do a chain up of 1 and cut, then I will meet you guys back. So now that the calf portion is all seamed up, we're ready to fill in the thicker portion of our leg. So what we're all going to want to do is start by making sure that our work is flipped right side out. So that single crochet seam that we just did is now flipped along the inside. Then we're going to insert our hook. We do need to make sure that we're inserting our hook into the same corner stitch. We're going to insert our hook into the top corner stitch of the last row that we did for our basket weave detail. So I've inserted my hook into this corner stitch. This was the last row that I finished right before we seamed it up. We want to make sure that we're not working into the chain end so that the stitches that we have are similar for everyone. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to insert our yarn onto our hook and start with a chain 2. Now that chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch, we just need the height. Now what we're going to do from here is work down towards our calf seam. So we're all going to start with 3 front post double crochets because the first set of stitches that we have right here look like 3 back posts. So we are going to be doing the opposite from what our previous row's stitches look like. So I'm going to get started with my 3 front post double crochets. Now once we have our front post doubles, we're now going to be doing our back post doubles. And from here, we're just going to continue to do the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like, working our way down towards our seam, leaving 3 stitches left right before our seam. Then I'll meet everyone back. So we are back and we have made our way all the way down until we have 3 stitches left right before our calf seam. So I'm going to take the stitch marker out for now, and we should have 1, 2, 3 stitches left. Now what we're going to do is a decrease of 3 double crochets. So yarn over, into that third to last stitch, we're going to insert, pull through, second to last, pull through, and last, pull through for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook. From here, yarn over, pull through 4, then yarn over, pull through 2. We are going to insert our stitch marker into the top of that decrease. Then we are going to have a middle stitch. What we're going to do from here is do a decrease of 2 double crochets, but worked into the stitch that our last side seam stitch is worked into on both sides. And we're just doing that so that we don't have a really big gap in the middle. So starting with the yarn over, into that same stitch that our last side seam stitch is worked into, pull through. Now into that following stitch on the other side that our last side seam stitch is worked into, we're going to insert in through there, pull through for a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Now that is our middle stitch, and now we're going to do a decrease of 3 double crochets on the other side. So starting with the yarn over, we're going to find that first available stitch on this side. We're going to insert, pull through, second stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and we are going to insert a stitch marker into that decrease as well. And now that this decrease is completed, we're going to work our way up, doing the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like. So everyone's first set of stitches should look like 3 front posts, so I will now be doing 3 back posts. So yarn over, underneath that first stitch with my first back post double, and continue till we have 3 back post doubles, then 3 front post doubles, then from here continue to do the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like, making sure we're closing off the row with 1 half double crochet into the top of the last stitch from our previous row. Then I will meet everyone back. So we are back. We have just completed the first decrease row for the width portion. Now what we're going to do from here is our following row, so we're going to chain 2 and flip. Now for this decrease portion, every even number row, so it will be the opposite from the way the body was done, but every even number row is going to extend our previous row stitches. So since my first set of stitches look like 3 front posts, I'll be doing 3 front posts, and if yours look like 3 back, you'll be doing 3 back. We're all going to continue to extend our previous row stitches until we have 3 stitches left right before a stitch marker, then I'll meet you back. So we've made our way down with the first half of our row 2. We should all have 3 stitches left right before a stitch marker. So here's 1, 2, and 3. What we're going to do is a decrease of 3 double crochets. So yarn over into that third to last stitch, pull through, second to last, pull through, and last. That last one should be worked into the stitch that's before our stitch marker stitch. Yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through 2. Now from here we are going to insert a stitch marker into the top of this decrease. Then when that first decrease is completed, we're going to do a second decrease of 3 doubles, then a third decrease of 3 doubles. So we're going to start by inserting our hook into that following stitch. Our second decrease of 3 doubles is going to be worked into our following stitch, which should have been the stitch that our stitch marker was in, our middle stitch, and then the following stitch marker stitch. So yarn over, insert, pull through into that middle stitch, pull through and into that stitch marker stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through 2. That is our middle decrease. Now we're going to do a third decrease of 3 doubles. So into that following stitch, insert, pull through, next stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 4, yarn over, pull through 2, and insert a stitch marker into the top of that decrease. Now that is going to be how we do our decreases for each of these rows. Now from here we're going to continue on with our row 2, which is going to just extend our previous row stitches. So since my first set of stitches here look like 3 front posts, I'll be doing 3 front posts, then 3 back posts, then making our way all the way down. Then 1/2 double crochet into the top of the chain 2 from our previous row. We have just completed our second decrease row. What we're going to do from here is just continue to do our repeats of our basket weave detail, making sure that we are doing the same exact decreases that we just did for the previous row until we now have a portion that can wrap around the entirety of our leg. So that's really going to depend on how high you made it. So say for example, if this top portion is at your thigh, we want to make sure that this can wrap around your thigh. But when the whole thing can wrap around your leg, I will meet you back so that we can seam everything together. But just as a super quick reminder, for this decrease portion, every odd number row is going to do the opposite from what our previous row stitches look like, and every even number row is just going to extend our previous row stitches. Don't forget to do the same decreases that we just did, then I will meet you back. We are back. We have just completed our decrease width portion. Now, I only did a total of 3 rows, but now from here we're going to seam it all up. And this seam is going to be done exactly the same way as our calf seam. So flipping our work wrong side out, we're going to do our same single crochet seam till we don't have any more stitches left to work into. When we don't, do a chain up a 1 and cut, then I'll meet you back. Alright, so we are back. We have just completed seaming up the entirety of the width portion of our leg warmers. Now we're going to get started on the top band. So what we're going to do is make sure that our work is flipped right side out, and we're going to single crochet along the top. So start by inserting our hook into any side row along the top of our piece, then put 2 single crochets into every side row. We're going to pull through and do a chain up of 1 to secure. Then finding our first side row, this is mine right here, I'm going to find that top loop and insert with 2 singles. There's 1 into that same top loop with a second. Again, this is my next side row. Find that top loop, insert with 1, same top loop with a second, and just to do 1 more together, our following side row, insert with 2 singles, and we're going to make our way all the way around. Well, we don't have any more stitches left to work into, slip stitch into that chain space. And just as a really quick tip, this single crochet row is going to be as wide as this portion can stretch. So once when it's completed, try your piece on. If it's a little too tight, we do some stitches with a looser grip, or if it's too loose, you do some stitches with a tighter grip. So we are back. Our single crochet row is complete. Now what we're going to do from here, right after we slip stitch into that chain space, is make a chain the length that we'd like for this top band to be. I'd like for mine to be just about 3 inches or 8 centimeters, so I'm going to start by making a chain 15. Now that we have our chain, we're going to block off that last chain and do a chain 1. Into that chain that we blocked off for the second chain from our hook, we're going to insert with a slip stitch. So insert, yarn over, pull through everything on our hook. Again, into that next chain, insert, yarn over, and pull through everything. And that's it. From here, we're going to continue with 1 slip stitch into every chain. Now we want to make sure that we're not tugging too tightly, otherwise the following row will be too tight to work into, but continue with 1 slip stitch into every chain, then I'll meet you back. We've made our way all the way down with our row 1, now we're going to connect it into the base. So just finding that next available stitch into the base, we're going to insert, yarn over, and pull through everything with a slip stitch. Now that slip stitch into the base doesn't actually count as a stitch, that's just to connect. Then to work our way up to the following row, slip stitch into that following stitch into the base. Still doesn't count as a stitch, and flip our work. Now we're going to make our way down with 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. So finding the last stitch from our previous row, not working into any of those slip stitches into the base, we're going to insert, yarn over, and pull through everything on our hook. Again, into that next stitch's back loop, yarn over, and gently pull through everything, and from here continue with 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. Then at the end of the row, chain 1, flip our work, put 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch again, and I'll meet you back at the end of our row 3. Our first 3 rows are complete. Now we're going to connect it into the base the same way that we did our previous rows. So just finding that next available stitch into the base, insert with a slip stitch to connect. Then to work our way up to the following row, slip stitch into that following stitch into the base, just to connect. Flip our work and put 1 back loop slip stitch into every stitch. Then from here, just continue to repeat these 2 previous rows with no increases, no decreases, making our way all the way around. When we don't have any more stitches left to work into, I'll meet you back so we can seam it up. So we are back. We have made our way all the way around with our back loop slip stitch rows. We don't have any more stitches left to work into, so now we're going to seam it together. Now this seam is going to be an outside loop slip stitch seam to make it look like another back loop slip stitch row. So making sure that our work is flipped right side out, we're going to insert our hook into the corner stitch of both the front and the back. We're then going to yarn over, pull through everything on our hook. Then finding that first stitch into the front panel, we're going to insert our hook only in through that front loop. First stitch into the back panel, insert only in through that back loop. Then yarn over, pull through everything on our hook. Again, next stitch into the front panel, insert only into that front loop. Next stitch into the back panel, insert only into that back. Then yarn over, pull through everything on our hook, and that's it. We're going to continue doing this until we don't have any more stitches left to work into. When we don't, do a chain up 1 and cut, then I'll meet you back. So now that our top band is completed, we're now going to get started on the bottom band, and that's going to be done exactly the same way as the top. So just as a refresher, we're going to make sure that our work is flipped right side out, right side up. We're going to insert our hook into any side row that we have along the bottom of our piece, then we're going to do the same single crochet row. So we're going to insert our yarn onto our hook and put 2 single crochets into every side row, then slip stitch into that chain space, then I'll meet you back. So now that our single crochet row along the bottom is completed, we're now going to make a chain for the length that we'd like for the bottom band to be. I'd like for mine to be just about 2 inches or 5 centimeters, so I'm going to start by making chain 8, then do our same back loop slip stitch rows with no increases, no decreases, making our way all the way around. When we don't have any more stitches left to work into, I'll meet you back so we can seam it all up together. So now that we've made our way all the way around with our bottom band, we are all done. Last thing we're going to do is seam it together, and this is going to be the same seam that we did for the top band. So just making sure that our work is still flipped right side out, right side up, we're going to do our same outside loop slip stitch seam, then do a chain up 1 and cut. Then once we have that bottom band all seamed up, we're going to make a second one that is exactly the same, then we are all done with our leg warmers. Now the last thing we're going to have to do is just weave in all of our ends. There you have it, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the tutorial. Join us on Instagram, Pinterest, or Twitter. Those links are down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Catch you on the next one. Bye.